It's 105.3 Seaside FM, the talk of South Holderness. We've had some great news recently, haven't we, about protecting properties to the south of Withernsea, and to tell us more about that is your local MP, Graham Stewart. Welcome back to Seaside FM, Graham.
Thank you, John.
We've had some great news, haven't we? Millions of pounds of investment coming to Withernsea in the early part of next year.
I'm just delighted. Meeting residents in Holsham Gardens so many years ago and discussing the threat, watching erosion, seemingly accelerating. So many years ago, we started lobbying the East Riding Council to come forward with a proposal. They then did so. We went into something called the Coastal Communities Fund and put a bid into that. And I lobbied hard for that. That didn't come off, at which point, working with the council, we came up with another route, was to use this ERDF funding, as it's called. And I was able to bring Jake Berry, who's the minister who's responsible for the allocation of that, bring him to Withernsea, show him in person the issue. And so I'm just delighted that after so many years, and meeting so many people who were, terrified at the prospect that their homes would be swept away, that road south would be removed. It's great news.
The thing is, this is testament, isn't it, really, to the fact you should never give up. 12 attempts, I believe it is. 12th time lucky. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I still remember, in particular, a street surgery I held in outside Oldie in Withernsea, and a whole group of residents came. I think some of them were pretty low, and they, I don't think their expectations were high. And I always bore them in mind as we went along, thinking, no, we cannot give up. We've got to get this sorted. Those people deserve protection. It made sense to extend the protection south, and make sure that the roads, the houses, and indeed the chalet park as well, as another benefit, could be protected. So, but we're still not entirely over the line. We've got to get the licenses. We've got to make sure this continues to move at pace. But it is fantastic, and it does show. I just like to pay tribute to those people who came to see me at that street surgery years ago. They tried to make sure they didn't stop believing. I certainly never did. And working together as a community, it just shows you what we can do.
I think one of the things you touched on the stressful aspects of this. I mean, it's stressful enough when you're buying a new house or moving into a new home. That's relatively a limited period of time. But when you're constantly worrying that your house and your home might not be here in a few days, weeks' time because of the coastal erosion, I mean, what they've gone through is amazing. But this is such tremendous news, and we shouldn't underplay it, should we?
No, it's just great news, and yeah, as I say, I'm delighted. We can't. Some people say, well, surely we can protect the whole coast, and anybody else. We can't. But where there's an opportunity, and this, when it's part of an urban setting that's already got protection, then just extending it that 400 meters further south, putting that in place, that it seemed like a realistic chance. Although getting the millions of pounds to do it was uphill task, but everybody worked at it, and it's come off. So we have the funding in place now. We just need to get the licenses from the Marine Management Organisation, and the rest of it. So, and there've been many wrinkles along the road. You'll remember that Natural England were coming forward with concerns. So worked very closely with them, organised a meeting with council officers, convened a high-level call with them just to get it over to them just how important this was to us. And indeed, I was again grateful that I was able to talk to my friend and colleague, the Minister, Jake Berry, who also contacted them. So we try to approach this from every single angle and make sure that not a single opportunity was lost.
Well, congratulations to everybody, including yourself, Graham, involved in this fantastic news. And in a time where there's an awful lot of worrying news about other issues, this is some great news that we can get behind, and congratulations to everybody. And it's, once again, another great story for Withernsea.
Another great story for Withernsea. And it's not just the Parker Dreams, we're going to have the rock armour protection of our dreams as well.
Fantastic. It's all coming together.
It is.
Graham Stewart, thanks very much for talking to 105.3 Seaside.